Hey guys, welcome to my first video blog of the restoration of my 1958 Volvo PV444L. Affectionately, I call her the old lady, and I thought I'd set some videos up and put some videos together to show you everything about the car and the process that I went through to restore her. So without further ado, welcome again, and this is going to be part one, which is basically when I got the car in 2005 from my cousin Joe in New Jersey. And if you're interested in seeing all the details of this, please feel free to check out Amazon. I've got a book out there called 1958 Volvo PV444L Restoration of Dad's Volvo. So I'll go ahead and give you a little bit of brief background here, history on the car. Car belonged to my father. He was the second owner. He purchased it from a little old lady down the street where I grew up in St. Petersburg in 1974. He started the restoration project. Unfortunately, sadly, Dad passed in 1994, and the car went to my cousin Joe in New Jersey. Cousin Joe is a masterful mechanic and antique car restorer, and he did a wonderful job helping me out, keeping the car from rusting any further. And in 2005, I was living in Chesapeake, Virginia. He called me up and asked me if I wanted my car back. So I, after thinking about it a little bit, called him back and said, yes, I do. And from there, it's been a restoration project ever since. So I finished most of the project, the restoration, in 2015 is when I can kind of say that I've completed it. So I'll go ahead and continue on here and just to go through some of the pictures that I took along the way. And again, you can see more pictures and the whole history and background of the project in the book, which you can get on Amazon. Moving forward here, so when I first got the car, I started taking pictures of it and really understanding the car. And you know, I of course I grew up with the car in St. Petersburg, Florida, when I was very little, but I hadn't really inspected it as someone who was going to be restoring it. So I took a lot of pictures, documented everything that I could about the car, and really understood everything about it. Try to understand where all the vulnerabilities were and the weak spots. And as you can see here, there's kind of a white paint on the car. This is what my cousin Joe did in New Jersey to keep it from rusting. He put this kind of primer on it, which I was very, very thankful for. So again, more pictures. You can see here my son at the time here. He's about 3.5 years old here, maybe slightly over 3, in Chesapeake, Virginia. So a little ham there. And you can see this is the kind of the tear down. I took some of the doors off, and he loved being in pictures. He still does. And you can see this is taken. I took some of the fenders off and things like that so I could really get a good inspection of her. More pictures of the front end here. So this is a 1958, again, PV444L. And I've got a lot of details on the specifications of this car in the book. So feel free to check that out when you get a chance. She's been a great car. And going to give you some more information about her as I go on here. This is basically the interior, looking at the dashboard. And you can see all the control knobs and everything. I remember when I was little playing with those little control knobs, and I'm sure breaking a few of them. Another view of the steering column. Another view of the interior. My dad had put some type of upholstery. He was an upholsterer on the side also, so he put some type of upholstery on the seats to kind of protect them, but he left all the original material underneath, which I was thankful for. We'll see some more of that here in a minute. Here's some pictures of the floor pans. Of course, you probably might not know, but the Volvo PV444 was a unibody construction, so there's no frame on this car. And you can see here more of the floor. Of course, it was not too bad in one area, on the right side, rear passenger area. It wasn't too bad. Left side, you'll see here in a minute, it was pretty bad. I'll show you that picture. And here's a picture with the rear seat removed. You can see that tar paper that they put on there for sound deadening. Here's with the rear seat back re-added. And you can see the original design on the seats here. These are the original seats. I later had these reupholstered, but I left the original material underneath as well. More pictures of the seats here. Front seats folding forward. Now you can see a little bit there that rear passenger floor pan there. You can see it doesn't look normal. It's kind of flat, and I'll get into that here in a minute, why that is. More pictures of the seats. The door panels are removed there. A couple more pictures of the seats. Here's another picture showing the interior. Passenger seat removed. And you can see the frames there holding the passenger seat in. Pretty simple design. Here's some more pictures just of some parts. I was lucky enough to get some spare parts with the car. Cousin Joe was nice enough to find some extra parts in town, and some other 58 Volvos or 57 Volvos, fenders and things like that. So I had some nice spares to work with. And the original color of this car was actually California white. Somebody had painted it a greenish color over the years. I'm not sure who that was. And this is the original headliner that I had pulled out of the car. And some extra door panels that I received. Now we're starting to get into the underneath pictures, underside pictures. This is kind of the clutch area, and you can see that there was some kind of something rigged up there with a nut and welded onto the body frame there to hold that clutch bracket in. Of course, I had all that later removed and fixed up. Some more pictures here. This is the picture where the shows the brackets that hold the master cylinder in, the brake master cylinder. There's a picture here. If you can see it carefully, this is the underneath the transmission. It's a mount where the transmission mounts to, and there was a major weld job. I guess my dad had welded some of that together because I think it cracked over the years. So he had that welded together, or did it himself. He was a welder as well. So here you can see the passenger rear floor pan. My dad was he was an interesting character, and coming from the Depression era, he was masterful at reusing the resources around him. And as you can see here, he had pilfered a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit sign from somewhere and riveted that into the floor pan area because it was the quickest, easiest thing to do, and he didn't have to, purchase any sheet metal or anything else to fix it. So he was trying to, basically he just used the car for going out to the garage and relaxing a little bit. I don't think he was really ever interested in doing a full restoration on the car, but so these are the types of things he did. He was a funny guy. Here's another picture. You can see the rear trunk area underneath. These are common rust spots. This is the spare tire well in the back right of the car. And you can see that's another common area for rust, as well as up underneath the wheel well on the back right. It's another area for rust. There's just some more pictures here. I think I took off the front shocks, just showing the mechanics of the wheel there. Another picture. Look at the size of those coils, huh? This is another picture looking down from the front suspension. This is also interesting. Something had broken off of the front. This is what holds the. This is what actually holds the bumper to the vehicle and the front fenders. And as you can see, something had broken off of there at one point in time. I think from what I recall, when I was little, I remember there was an accident with at the front of the car. There was some denting in the car that I had later had that all repaired, but this was probably a result of that accident. And you could see there was some reinforcement there with a bolt. So again, trying to do it quick job to get it done, and that's what my dad did. Well, that pretty much concludes part one. I appreciate everybody watching today. Thank you very much for your time. And if you're interested, I'd be happy to post some more videos. I'd love to do a part two and show you a little bit more of the progression of the restoration. Again, please buy the book on Amazon. It's called The Old Lady, Restoration of Dad's 1958 PV444L. Thank you very much. This is Anthony Scarola, and I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.